Having a great day. Give me a shout out. I'll give you a shout out. Let me know where you're from. Might know some familiar names. But welcome to our global webinar, RefectoCil webinar. Perfect. We have some more trickling in. So how's everyone's day? Good morning, Lori from Edmonton. How's Edmonton? How's the weather in Edmonton? I'm going to just do something really quickly. Well, yeah, warm and sunny. Oh, that's really nice. Today, it got a little bit colder. I'm in Ontario, in Toronto specifically, and it was nice yesterday, but today it got a little chilly. So I guess we still have to wait until maybe that May hits that we're going to have the weather that we truly need, like the spring that we truly need. Okay, sorry. I'm just loading up the PowerPoint. I just forgot to load that. We're going to show it on the screen. So let's see everybody else's hellos. Ontario, welcome, Jennifer. Okay, so let's do this. So Lori, warm and sunny, we said. So more people from Edmonton. Wow, lots from Edmonton. Well, welcome. From Eugene, Oregon, Kayla. I think I remember your name, Kayla. I think you sat before. Pauline Gander, hi. We are a cosmetology class from Kenora. Welcome. So you've got the cosmetology class. Perfect. I'm glad you guys can be on today. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah, I sent you an email. So we got you covered, Sarah. Hi, Renee. Renee is our U.S. sales rep, and she's from the sunny South Florida. So she's got good weather there. Welcome, Renee. Jennifer, Ontario, Alberta, Laura, Lisa in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Terry. Thank you, Terry. Terry is one of our trainers here in Ontario as well. So welcome, Terry. Aurelia, Yukon. Oh, beautiful. Nice, Sherry. Yukon's beautiful scenery. Michelle from Baltimore. From Milton. Oh, I got friends in Milton. Welcome. So everybody's everywhere. So this is awesome. Okay, so let me just make sure, keep giving me your shout outs. I'm just going to make sure my presentation is uploaded so that I could upload it into our page right here before we get started. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I've had the last webinar. Oh, we want to do this. There we go. So you guys can all see the presentation. Obviously, all of you guys can hear me and see me because you're responding. But if you have any issues with hearing or seeing, check your status for your camera and your mic. If you still have some issues, you can exit and re-enter the page, the link, and that should work. It's 99% it works. Okay. So everybody can see the presentation on here. Lash, curl, and tint. So today's webinar is going to be on lash curl. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Awesome. Okay, we still have some trickling in, but we'll begin. This is going to be recorded, so you don't have to worry. You will get the recording after the thank you email. Just make sure that you download it somewhere because after a while that link gets replaced. And then we do put them on our website as well. So no worries, but you will get your personal recording afterwards after the webinar is over. Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome, Erica. Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so let me do a quick little introduction myself for some of you that might be new here. My name is Chrissy. I am the lead RefectoCil trainer of North America. So I do a lot of these trainings. I do a lot of the trade shows. You might have met me as well at a trade show, in one of the classrooms of the trade show, doing these webinars. And I have a real passion for RefectoCil. I see how great the manufacturer is. I see how great the product works. So my passion for educating is, I'm excited about it, and I want to share that excitement with you guys so that you're able to enjoy using RefectoCil as much as I do, because that also reflects onto your client. When you have a passion for a certain service, a certain brand, it does reflect your client, and they do appreciate coming to you because they know they're going to be getting the results that they want from you. So a quick little poll that I'll do here, just me speaking, is who is going to be completely new at trying out the lash curl by RefectoCil? If you could let me know in the chat box if this is totally something new for you, let me know. So Kayla, okay. We're gonna get a couple of new people. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we got a lot of new people. So another question um, is is who is completely new to RefectoCil. Like you're sitting on this webinar because either you just graduated or your field change or you're just new to the brand specifically. Let me know into the chat box if you're new to RefectoCil. Usually the majority, you use the tint, Erica. Okay. Okay, new to Tammy. Okay. So usually that's the case. Everybody is using RefectoCil when it comes to the tint because, you know, RefectoCil has been around for over 90 years. So the tint is something that you're comfortable with and adjusted, but we're here to help you with these webinars to expand in the family of RefectoCil and be able to offer your customers much more than just a tint. Okay, so not new to RefectoCil, just the curl. Perfect, Tammy. So I think everyone here has knowledge of RefectoCil. So this first slide right here will be very brief, just to remind us who RefectoCil is all about. So they are in Austria. They are a world leading brand since 1930, and they are represented in more than 65 countries as the market leaders in lash and brow styling. So you are working with a company that their focus is on these lash and brow services, and they do their best as well to stay up to the trends as well when it comes to these new trends, new innovations, and so forth. They want to keep up with that and be able to expand their line as well. So they do have their own lab, which is great. So anything that we, you know, find that it's trouble, it needs troubleshooting, or it needs to be changed, it didn't work well, they have their own lab to get that done much faster as opposed to sending it out for testing and so forth. So that's something I really appreciate about the manufacturer because I know they're going to handle it with much more respect and love with their ingredients and so forth because they have their own lab. So I'll stop babbling about RefectoCil because I could go on about the manufacturer, but let's start now talking about our lashes. And when we think of drama, we don't want any drama except the dramas that are fluttering in these beautiful pieces of hair. So we only want that drama in our lashes, and we know that our lashes are the ultimate symbol of glamour. And you know, we try to emphasize a lot more our lashes and what we do in our daily makeup wear and so forth. I always say if I can't put any makeup on, at least if I can get my lashes to pop, to have a little bit darken, it will brighten my face. Okay, so we know that we want our lashes to be long, full, and dark. And because of this, the results will be that our eyes will appear bigger, our look will become more refreshed and opened. And as well, we're going to be able to be perfectly styled around the clock with whatever we do. You know, we're going to go play some sports. Well, we want to look a little bit decent playing some tennis. So we might enjoy having our lashes just done up and no worry about anything else on our face for makeup. Just the curl. Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. And then you get an instant facelift. So think of when we talk about brow lift, lash lift, um, everything tends to go upwards. Even with a curl, you know, you might be having lashes that shoot straight down, but you're rounding them. So you're still giving that lift, but the lashes start to curl. But you're giving that freshness, you're giving that alert, you're giving that facelift kind of effect. So these services not only benefit women, it will also benefit the male clientele as well to give them that little bit of boost and that little bit of freshness in a more masculine way. So let's talk about the trend. So the trend, we know that many do desire that they have a lift or a shape to the hairs of their lashes. They want them to be darkened so that they add more depthness. You got length and depthness. And we know that lash extensions have been the go-to. They still are, but that lash lift or that lash curl is becoming, excuse me, a substitution in a sense, because with lash extensions, you're using not your own lashes, you're using pieces of hair that you're enhancing to your lashes. But with a lash lift or a lash curl, you're working with your natural lash. So if you want to give a break to that weight, to that glue, you know, that in the constant refilling, because it's maintenance, right? Both are maintenance, but if your lash extensions start to fall out, the look doesn't look as great as if you're lash curl starts to kind of relax a little bit. So you would say there's less maintenance with a lash lift or a lash curl, but that will become a substitute for somebody who wants to give a break to lash extensions, but still wants to emphasize their eye area and give that freshness. They will switch to a lash lift or lash curl. So the service, this will bring life to lashes that will amaze your clients, even the ones that shoot straight down and are short. You can give them some beautiful results. You'll be able to add some length along with that rounded curl. And we're going to see the difference between both services. And the lash curl is great for those very short lashes. So if you're already working with lash lift, and you're starting to encounter customers that the size small pad is just not for them. Their eyes are much smaller, their lashes are much shorter, and the size small pad just won't do. You don't want to send them away. You still want to keep them and you want to make them happy to have some kind of enhancement to their lashes. So you should have a size small curler to be able to accommodate that customer. The great thing is that our lash lift solutions, our brow lamination solutions, they're all the same. The lash perma neutralizer as well. The glue in the lash lift and the lash curl is the same glue. So if you purchase a lash lift kit, you can start purchasing open stock the rollers to be able to accommodate different types of clientele, male clientele. I would choose the biggest roller just to give them a more relaxed curl, and that way they can still have that emphasis. Okay. Thank you, Sherry. I saw yours too. Thank you. Just the curls. A lot of new people that are to the curls. That's awesome. So that's why we're doing this webinar, to excite you all. Okay, so let's see what the difference is. So if, this is the biggest question we get asked at trade shows is, what's the difference? What should I be doing? If somebody comes new to the booth and is like, I want to offer these services, but you have all these kits, I don't know what to do. So I'm always honest. I see what their budget is, and I try to help them according to their budget. If the person wanted 2 different kits just to keep them nicely separated, their curls and the lifts, by all means. And if the customer came with a budget, I always tell them, purchase a lash lift first, because everybody wants that length. So as you see here, what makes a difference? The lash lift with the silicone pads that have a little bit of a bump, the bump gets bigger, the bigger the size you choose. And the way you're placing the solution right by the roots, you're pushing up the hair to go more upward. So think of a U shape. So lashes are going straight up, which gives it a length. But if you're looking at the curl, it's cotton rollers, these pressed cotton rollers that have a circumference. The hair will wrap around that circumference, and the solution only goes in the center of the hair, which means just that center of the hair is creating a bend to round off those lashes and think of a C curl. So that's how you can differentiate between the two and even help your customers to understand between the difference between the two. So like as I was mentioning before, you can purchase the lash lift kit and just purchase the extra rollers, because a lash lift service will be something that you will easily market, get it out there because people are looking for this service. And then as you get to know your clientele better, as you get to know their lashes better, you'll know when to introduce the curl. Okay. Here's a little bit of the effect that it shows a little bit far, but where the center of the lash is where it's created a bend. So they're a little bit more, as opposed to a lift, you would see them dead straight up. This one has a little bit of a curl in the center of her lash where it's bending it in. So it's you can give the perfect shape. You don't have to use any more of those mechanical curlers. Think of this being 6 weeks of not having to worry every morning to grab your mechanical curler and go crunch, 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 and potentially being like, ow, because you caught a little bit of your, mucous membrane or your water line, right? Or you pinched your hair. So with the curlers that you're constantly crunch, 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 sometimes you give an unrealistic bend to the hair and you can snap it off. So now think of having something much safer, much easier, no maintenance. You wake up in the morning, wash your face, pop on your mascara, and you're good to go. Okay, and our application time 6 and 4 minutes. So let's talk about our new solutions that are 6 and 4. You might see the difference in the tubes. The coloring has changed for the lash perm into this pinkish, and there's no more that red box that says 8 and 5 minutes. So that's how you know that these are going to be the 6 and 4 minutes. Okay, they've got the ingredients keratin and cysteine. We know that carrot, and they're both going to be providing nourishment to your treatment, to your service. So you're having a service and a treatment together in one. We know that keratin is a protective protein. So with it, along with the amino acids, which provide moisture, you're going to be working towards that structure of that protein. So you're not doing anything to damage the hair. You're not doing anything to deplete the hair from any of those nutrients that need to be in there. Actually, you're adding more. Okay. And then it will work together with the hair development. And during the whole service, you're going to be conditioning and protecting the hairs. So it's very important that you understand your lash, all lash perm and neutralizer will be the same concept, but maybe there's some variety in the ingredients and the formulation that they do that might vary if it's great, if it's a good conditioning product or if it's not. So always read your ingredients just to make sure. Okay. And always follow the manufacturer label. It's the best thing I can tell people. They're like, oh, does your product snap off lashes and so forth? I say, shouldn't. Ours doesn't, but you always have to follow the manufacturer label when it comes to the timing. Any timing that you suggest you want to do and you want to leave it longer, because I see that happening with the tint. People are like, oh, I'll leave the tint on for a half an hour on the brows just to give more depthness or so forth. With the lash lift or the lash curl, you have to be very mindful to follow the timings, okay? Are these currently available at our suppliers? They should be, Margaret. Let me know where you're located. Maybe off by the top of my head, or Renee, if you're in the States, will know if the distributor you purchase for carries this. Okay, so now let's talk about elevating, giving some value to your lash curls, and not just lash curls, to your lash tintings, to your lash lifts and so forth. Margaret, are you in London, Ontario? If it's London, Ontario, you have Creata Beauty. So I can type that in. You can have Creata Beauty Niagara. I'm just going to write that. I think that would be your best bet because they carry all of RefectoCil. And you can order online too. So Create a Beauty Niagara. Okay. If you want to add value or elevate your lash and brow services, use these eye care pads. They're really amazing. I bring them at trade shows when I do demos because I want people to feel the instant smoothness it gives, and even smoothing out the fine lines. It's got hyaluron inside of it. It's got aloe vera, vitamin E. So you're helping with fine lines and you're helping with puffiness. And when we remove it, people actually see right away how smooth it is. I walk around the home with these, but I can put them in the fridge 10 minutes before my customer comes. So it adds that even extra cooling effect. But because they work so well, these eye care pads, it's a little bit pricier. So you will have to add $5 to $8 of about $5 to $8 into your service fee. So if your lash curls are $70, you'd have to make them maybe $78 or $75 just to cover the cost of these eye care pads. But they are amazing. I'm really grateful for these because you can use them to give the eye treatment, you can use them for tinting, and you can use them to hold down the bottom of your lashes when you're doing a lift or a curl. Hello, Zulika. Welcome. Okay, so one more thing we want to talk about. Well, two more things. Well, we want to talk about your aftercare. So it's very, very important that you end your services of your lashes or your brows with the styling gel. This is our hero product. It does so well at trade shows. Usually we sell out of it. It's multiple ways you can use it. Even if you don't do any of these RefectoCil lash or brow services, you can use this to hydrate, to condition, protect from the sun, prime before you fill in your brows. It's a beautiful product. So if you leave it to your customer and you're telling them, oh, you know what, you need to be buying this aftercare that I used after you, and just leave it at that, it doesn't show the importance as to why. So educate your customer. Let them know that it's going to hydrate, it's going to condition, because every treatment that we do in these lash and brow services, you're processing, which means that you need to provide aftercare. When we get our hair colored, they don't just put shampoo and that's it. There's conditioning and possibly a treatment because our hair was processed. So, or to what degree was processed. So it's very important that anything we do with lashes and brows, it is hair and we are processing it, that we give that hydration as well. So educate your customer. The great thing about this product is it will also seal in the service. So if you have somebody that the tint doesn't last long on them and you are so you know that your steps are proper, right? You're doing it properly, you're doing your ratios properly, but the tint doesn't last long because the way they wash their face at home, the way their lifestyle is, are they a gymnast? Do they sweat a lot? These play a factor, and we're not there at home to know everything that they're doing or to correct what they're doing wrong. So this product, if they use it every morning, can seal in that tint and help to extend a little bit more of the days as to what more than what they get. Okay. So Margaret, what happens when you finish your lift and tint and several lashes are missing with a styling gel? So when you're saying some of the lashes and brows are missing, you're meaning that they didn't take the shape, because when you do our service, they shouldn't be falling off at all. So unless you had a customer that their lashes were so compromised from lash extensions that you did the curl or lift service and it was too heavy to hold that treatment, and then there was some kind of damage, but that's not because of our product, it's because they had damage to begin with. So if that's a sense, you should not do a service at all. Now, if it's because you missed a couple of, or one or two hairs, the mascara will be the one that will hold it into place up, right? Because lashes are really more harder to bend and hold up because you're bending them. So the best thing to do is actually get all the hairs to roll on the silicone pad, to stay on the silicone pad, and to roll onto the cotton roller and to stay on the cotton roller. That's why I always look from my on the side of my customer just to make sure that I got the lashes, or if the lashes shedded as they grow. Well, if there's nothing left there, or if the hair is waiting to come out and there's new growth, or the new growth is shorter, there's not much you can do with that hair, right? Sometimes people, you get frustrated to get that new growth hair to stick onto the silicone pad, and it doesn't. So in that case, you just leave that hair. It won't show a dramatic difference at all that they haven't been lifted or curled. Unfortunately, it would be mascara to hold it up into place, not the styling gel, because once again, you weren't able to relax and reform that hair. So the styling gel will not help with that. With growth, no. It's going to help keep good condition the hair so they have proper growth. But if you want a booster, we have our RefectoCil Lash and Brow Booster. Yeah, that will help with growth. And we do have that. And we have a castor oil product as well, which is a night care treatment that's deep and rich, that they wear it at nighttime. And it helps to thicken and bring back to the proper condition their lashes. So if you had somebody that their lashes were compromised from a lash extensions, before you do any of these services, sell them the care balm, tell them to use it for the next 4 to 6 weeks to bring back to vitality their lashes and their brows, and then they can come back for the service. And that way you never lost them, you never made their lashes worse, and they're back in your chair. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the protection cream, because something else you can do to add value or to enhance your lash curls is to add a little bit of massage at the end. So we have this beautiful product here that's a skin protection cream. So if you don't want to stain areas of the skin that you're working on, it is a eye mask. So if we didn't have these eye care pads, you could use this as a mask underneath our disposable paper pads. And also you have as well, it's a massage cream. So offer about a minute or two, a nice massage at the end of your service. And it will include these techniques. You got 6 of them. You got your straight techniques and outward movements like a drainage. You got your circular movements as well. And then you got your dotted movements, which are your tapotement, just to like resurface that blood, and plumpness. So do these 6 steps for a minute or two, and your customer is going to be so wowed, because who will say no to a massage? Your temple area is a perfect spot to knock out your customer. It feels so good. So why not be able to offer this as well and set yourself apart different, that you're all about taking care of your client and giving them a spa experience. So Zulika, I have a question about the tint. Layering the tint is better so that the hair pick up the pigment better, meaning applying the tint for 3 minutes, remove, and do a second layer for another 3 minutes. You can do that, but usually if you put it enough that it's penetrating to the hairs, you should be able to do it within that timing. So say, for example, the lashes, we leave the tint on for 10 minutes, you would get darkness uniform in all of those lashes. Now, if you feel for brows, you feel like you want to do this layering effect, just make sure that you're not that timing is not too long for that customer and that it becomes too dark. I don't think there's a rule against it. It's just be mindful that you're not leaving it too, like the 6 minutes is not too long for your customers' brows that they end up being too dark. Lashes, we want them to be dark. I've never did the layering effect because I found even after a lash curl or a lash lift, the hairs are so porous that they take that tint instantly and full coverage. So I haven't had to do that layering effect. The two last things I want to share in the presentation is aftercare, what you should be sharing with your customer, what they should be doing at home. Well, try to keep their lashes and brows dry. You're welcome, Zulika. Try to keep their lashes and brows dry for 24 hours. You know, within that 24 hours, the hair follicles try to close and seal. Yeah, it won't take full 24 hours, but you want to preserve that service and not do anything to deflect or not do anything to lessen that service. So just as a safety precaution, you know, just don't sit there in humidity and heavily water going onto your lashes or rubbing them with your cleanser and so forth. Even when you remove the tint, try to do the majority with dry, that you only have to apply a little bit of water at the end to remove the tint. Okay. Avoid any oil base, any makeup, any steam, saunas, sunbathing, swimming, any activities that you will sweat as well, just within that 24 hours. But this is like a little aftercare that you can take this information and share it with your customer in whichever method you feel, maybe a little postcard that you send back to them. Okay. And then just to know your profitability out of a kit. So if your kit, which I should have in here as well, the US pricing, which I think this is just the Canadian pricing, if I'm correct, 117, I think so. But you will get the profitability reports, both US and Canadian. So if you were to charge $70 for a lash curl, takes you about 35 minutes, a little bit exaggerated, because if it's your first time, you should be booking 45 to an hour. Okay, because you're trying to understand how to use this product, the techniques, the tips, rolling the lashes, using the glue. So don't book yourself 35 minutes. Please book yourself an hour. Okay. But if you bought the kit for 117, the saline solution for 1075, because you need this saline solution, your total is $128 that you paid roughly for the kit and the saline, and you can do about 36 applications. I say 30 to 36, and you can do 2,500 revenue back out of one kit when you're charging just 70. There's people who charge 90. So great revenue, easy services to do, quick add-ons, but very profitable with little effort. Okay. Would you do the massage before or after the tint? I would actually, good question. Because we don't teach the massage on top of the brows. So I always do it at the end before I put the styling gel. I massage and I avoid touching the hairs. Even if you did it before you did the tinting, you're going to be putting oil on the brows. So you should not go over the brows with this massage technique. You should just be working around the forehead, the temples, the occipital bone area here. And I just avoid, because I know with facials massages, we massage the brow bone, but in this case we shouldn't. Before or after, it's going to affect, because you'll have to sit there and start to clean off that oil that you massaged into your brow hair, and you would have to do it very properly and carefully. But because after a lift service, the hair is porous, you might not be able to remove it properly, and it will affect the tint. So just leave it at the end, I would say. Yeah. And just avoid touching the hairs. How long are the solutions good for after opening? Lash perma neutralizer, 2 months, and glue, 3 months, right, Renee? So 2 months for the lash perm and the neutralizer, and 3 months for the glue. But when they're closed, they have an expiring date marked on them already, engraved on them already. So you're looking at a 2-year shelf life or so they're good. Okay. Just close your caps with everything. You don't want things to oxidize. If things oxidize, if you see you're squeezing out your lash perm and it looks really, really dark purple, it's oxidized. You need to squeeze out that first portion. If you're squeezing out the first portions, you're wasting on that profitability. So always close your caps right away. Okay. Okay, so before we do our model, stalk us, please. This is a good stalking. We want you to stalk us on social media. So follow us on Instagram. We've got RefectoCil North America, and we got the training account that I'm on, Broista by RefectoCil. Like us on Facebook, review us on Facebook. We want to know, what did you think of the training? You know, this feedback helps me, but helps the company, helps everybody. We're on all in this together as a community in this beauty industry. So let us know. Visit our website. It is refectocileducation.com. This is only an educational website. No selling. The selling is done through our distributors. If you have any concerns and trying to find out who's close to you to purchase the product, you can email me at education@CBN Group. Even on our website, you can ask the question. I'll get back to you, even on our website. But utilize that website as your tool, as your buddy, to help you through this world of RefectoCil and enhancing your RefectoCil services. I've put everything up there. I'm still working on it to make it the best educational website. Give us your feedback. You have brochures you can download. You have consent forms you can download. You have protocols you can download. You have the color trend booklet you can download to mix and match colors. It's a videos, webinars. So please utilize that website as your buddy. Okay, apart from me. Okay, but any questions? Education@cbngroup.com. Now is a great part of winning prizes. We never say no to winning stuff and getting some goodies. So if you'd like to win this beautiful kit of lash curl and give your clients those beautifully shaped lashes, well, 3 steps, 3 easy steps. Follow us on Instagram if you are not already following us on these both accounts. Like us on Facebook, and then like any of the latest posts on our RefectoCil Instagram. And or if you don't have Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, and leave a comment about the webinar. And don't forget the hashtag. If you don't put the hashtag, we won't know that you're part of the draw. So it is Lash Curl Webinar 2022 is your hashtag. And leave any comment you feel about the webinar, about the product, about the training, anything you feel. We want to see that comment. But if you want to have a bonus entry, leave us a review on Facebook. Okay, the contest ends May 9th, and we will announce the winner on Instagram. So get liking, get commenting, and let us know how you feel. I promise, this is one last thing, okay, before we get into our model. This is the last slide. We are looking for passionate people. As you can see, the passion that I relayed in this training, we're looking for trainers to add into our growing team for North America. So if you're interested and you're in any of these following provinces or states, please, please, please reach out to us. Reach out to me at education@cbngroup.com if you're interested. The sooner the better, because May I will be doing a big training for all our new trainers, and I'd like to get some more from these different provinces or states. If you know anybody that might be interested, pass this on along to them as well. So that's our presentation today. If you have any questions, please let me know. But we are going to get our model in here, and we're going to start curling those lashes. So let me prep the camera on the bed. And if you have any questions, please, please, please ask them. I will multitask and I will answer them at the same time. Okay. Just tighten this. The camera's a little loose. Okay. I will bring in my model. Keep asking those questions. I'm gonna get my gloves ready. And let me know even in the comments if the webinar was good. If there's anything that you want me to repeat, I will be repeating the steps. Like we'll be doing the steps now within the demonstration. So let me just call my model to lay down.
I have a crazy lash. I should have pulled it.
We're going to remove your lashes.
Okay.
Green lash curl.
Yeah, I can tint the brows at the same time.
Okay.
I do have that crazy one. There? Okay. You can pluck it if you want.
Okay.
So I can light it
Let's.
up?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna lift the bed a little bit higher.
Go up.
You can lay down because it's hydraulic.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know Rula's looking for you.
Oh, she found me in the bag.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. That's in the back of the warehouse.
You look super cute. Is that a new top?
Oh. This, yes.
It's
Yes.
really cute.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Are you warm? You're good?
Super cozy.
Okay. So let's fix. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
And Lori says hi. Do you provide in-class certification for lash curl lift? We do have classes. Hopefully they'll pick up a lot more depending on where you are. Here in Ontario, we've picked up on doing a lot of in-house classes. In the US, not as much, but it will get going. But just let us know. Renee says hi. But just let us know where you're located. I can see if there's any classes, in-house classes. The webinars do not offer certification, but our classes hosted by distributors do. Okay, so let's bring this higher. I will make the screen bigger for you guys, but I might just bring this a little bit higher so I don't hit it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to swap it up. Is that better for you guys? You can see that? You can see her lashes. Do they have mascara on or no? Oh, they look dark. Okay, that looks good? Okay, perfect. Hopefully it doesn't get too blurry on us. Okay, so I've got my gloves, my mask on. Let's start with our prep, okay? So, RefectoCil eye makeup remover, first thing, okay? So that's how we start first to do the prep. Perfect, thank you, perfect. Thank you guys, awesome. Okay, so we're going to prep and we're going to clean. So even if they come without any makeup, please do this. There's environmental factors, there's pollution, dust, and sometimes there is some leftover makeup that they feel that they missed, you might have missed, and it just gets trapped if you have a really good mascara. Okay, so it's always good to do that prep work yourself. It just will be faster because they have no makeup on. Okay, so my model Lori, thank you for being here today. They're not short lashes, you can tell on the camera, but our size small pad in the lifts is kind of big, the pad. So we can't do a lift with Lori. So a curl she's a perfect candidate for the curl. Okay, so, and her lashes do shoot a little, there's some of them that shoot downwards, and there's some of them that have just a slight little lift, like a slight, so you can uniform lashes that way too. So I'm gonna just do the sale. Oh, so let me show you the second product. So if you're going to purchase, say after this class, you're like, I'm gonna go to the distributor and go purchase that lash curl. Always make sure to purchase the saline solution along with it. Okay, very, very important. And you can use it in all your services, tinting, lifting, brow lamination, lash curl, anything. Okay. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to clean her brows at the same time to show you guys that you can do both services at the same time. Tint her brows while her lashes are being processed. Okay, so I'll show that today. Perfect. I'm going to take my nice new brushes with a nice silicone spoolie. As the screen gets a little blurry. And I'm going to brush her lashes out just so they're nice and dry and separated before I put her eye care pads, because they're fluffed eye care pads, so I don't want to start creating this fluff. So I'm going to just brush them out. Do her brows as well. Perfect. So now I'm going to get my eye care pad. So it comes in a box of 10. That looks like this. Okay. But we're using the one out of there, the package. Okay. Question. What was the, oh, a RefectoCil, oh, sorry, it was Lash Curl Webinar 2022. It's okay, I got it. Margaret, I understood. Yeah, so Lash Curl Webinar 2022 is the hashtag. Okay, so I'm going to take the pad. So it's on a plastic like this, and when you peel it off, the jelly side on the back is the part that has all the goodies. Okay, and we're going to place that. I'm going to get Lori to open up her eyes, and I'm going to place it also to hold down the bottom of the lashes so I don't bring them up to the top and lift those because it won't look good. Okay, place it on. We're going to do the other one. If they had makeup, I would clean the skin underneath. If they had powder and stuff like that, yes, I would put it because you want them to have a nice service of the treatment. So yes. Sometimes people won't put makeup on their lashes and their brows, but they will wear powder. So that can that might interfere with the service penetrating into the skin. Yep, so you're good. You're right, Tiffany. Okay, and just use the eye makeup remover that we have from RefectoCil. Okay. Okay, so we have that all prepped. Now I know already that I'm going to be using the size small roller. So the rollers come into packages of rows of 8, so 16. So that's a size small, and then we have like the medium. They start to get thicker and thicker in diameter. Okay. The size small and medium are your most popular size, but if you start doing male clientele that has really long lashes, or a female clientele that has really, really long lashes and just wants a curl, not a lift, you might start dabbling into your large and extra large. Okay. So when you open up the package, try to always hold on to the tip here where there's a little bit of cotton exposed, because all this is pre-adhesive. We don't want to inactivate that glue. We want it to work enough so that we can use less glue applying so the lashes can stick on this part. So I always hold the end, pull it off. Okay. Then because the eye is not so straight, you do a little bending back and forth. Okay. Try to hold the ends. So you do that bending so that it can conform to the shape of the eye. And then you're going to place it as close as you can. It's harder with gloves. Close to the water line. Okay. And then you can have your lifter tool, or you can have an orange wood stick. So there's a lifter tool, the orange wood stick, but if you feel like you need to, make sure that there's no lashes. Okay. I'm gonna grab the other one, do the same thing, bending it to shape to the eye. Sometimes I like to do is I like to hold my stick instead to press it down to the skin. Okay. Okay. So, oh, it went blurry. Good so far. So that we've got the rollers now on as close as you can to the water line. And then you're going to grab you want to grab your orange wood stick or I think still in the lash curl, you get an orange wood stick. But if you want to use the orange wood stick or the lifter, it's up to you. So I need to get the lashes. Sometimes this pad might get into your way. So you could always move it lower. You put a little bit of pressure, you know. You always ask them, is the pressure okay? Right? So that perfect. And try to get them on there like separated, not so clumped. She does have a little bit of a new growth here, so she has a gap here, but it's a shorter piece of hair that's trying to grow out. So I know I'm not going to be able to get that on here. So she has, it's really hard to tell on the camera, but she has these little one piece here that are really short, like extremely short. Then I'm not going to get a headache trying to do anything with those. They're really, really short as long as I get the majority. Okay. Can you guys see that? I don't know why the camera looks very, to me, give me 1 second. I'm just going to try and do something to the camera. It looks very like there's like sun in the way. I think it's weird. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try and wipe it. Is that better? Is that clearer? It just felt like there was like sun in the way, like a glare. Okay. And sometimes they might have layered lashes, so you have to do this part slowly, patiently. And I haven't had to use the glue yet. But this side is giving me a little bit of stubbornness. And they're not wanting to stick, so I might have to use the glue. You okay? Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of spunk on this side. So if that's the case, I'm having a hard time on this side. Now I'm going to start utilizing the glue. So I'm going to have apply a little bit onto the roller because I'm having a hard time for these to stick. So that's the glue. Oops, I just dropped the, yeah, okay. So let's start to roll that. And don't use too much glue, okay? Be mindful of that. So because this side I'm going to have to work a lot with the glue, I'm using very little bit of glue. I don't want it to become a barrier. I wonder if this side ever gave us such a hard time before.
I think they were stubborn before.
Yeah, this is really stubborn. They don't want to stick. Yeah, really, really stubborn. So I will have to try my best. And with the new glue, you have to use it like immediately. You don't need to wait for any drying time. Not quite sure why the corner ones don't. And just hold it down. If I still have, like, if this was my customer in my, treatment room, it's, I'll spend the most time, but because of a webinar, I might have to proceed so you guys could just see the steps. But this side's being really, really, really horrible. I'm not quite sure why. She does have on this side a little bit more straighter, her lashes, and more thicker, but I'm not quite sure why it's giving me a little bit more hard time.
I think it was the good example of misbehaved lashes.
Misbehaved, yeah. This side, like the other side, they went on good. This side doesn't want to. They are more spunked out on this side, your lashes, though. So I don't know if it's just, do you sleep on that side more? I don't know.
Yes.
Do you? You
Yep.
do?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. They're more unruly on this side. Sometimes even on a webinar, you'll have a little bit of a challenge. I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit, that end, because it's, but you once again work the glue in little portions. So some came off here. So it's hard to tell on the camera, but the lashes on her right side are much smoother than the lashes on her left side, and not so like spunked out. They're a little bit more falling in a line. So she did confirm that she does sleep on this side a little bit more. So they're more kinked on the left side. So I'll put some more glue on the left side, but I'll have to proceed with the steps so that at least you guys can see the steps. Otherwise, if this was a client that you had in the bed, you just will need to explain to them that you need to take a little bit more time with glue application. Okay, so let me just press those down and then we'll just begin with the steps. If you had a customer that their lashes were so dead straight that it was so hard to get them to stick on the roller, you can put a little bit of glue from the inside of the lashes and then roll them. So unfortunately, this side does not want to stick down. I don't have time to remove a roller and put a new one, but that could be one of your steps that you should do. If you feel like the roller got too overworked, too much glue, you can remove the roller and redo it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and relax them with the lash perm and then try to re-glue whatever came off, because otherwise I'll spend most of the webinar tackling that, but at least I can show you the steps still. Yep, same glue. Are you having trouble with the lash lift? I don't have this issue at all. It's just that I love the new glue. I have no issues with it. It's just that I'm just having her left side of her lashes are just being stubborn. It's just one of those chemistries that we can't explain why. I have a male client interested in getting his lashes curled. He has an eye lift 4 months ago. Is it safe to do this? Or oh no, you're good. Every six to 8 weeks, you're good to redo it again. So you're good. Yeah. When you're saying eye lift, do you mean an actual surgery? Sorry, I just read that again. Do you mean an eye lift like an actual surgery? In that case, I would check with his doctor to see if surgery. Okay, yeah, I had to reread that. I would see with the doctor to see if he's an okay. Usually we say six months. So I would check if his doctor says it's okay, then go ahead. Okay, so what's the other question? Same glue for the lash lift? Yes, perfect. You're having trouble lately, Laura. Let me know which process is the lift or the curl that you're having trouble with the glue. So that's your step number 1. And I squeeze a pea size amount. Her lashes are, yeah, I'm just gonna relax them and see if I can re-glue them back down again. But as I mentioned, for purposes of and we're putting it in the center. So it's hard to tell in probably in the camera, but I'm trying to put it here in the center, not at the roots and not at the tips. But some of the hair is a little bit shorter, so they might go to the tips. The tips is because we don't want to overweigh the service. We don't want to wet the whole hair that it's too heavy. But see, on this end, they popped off. So I would have to, if this was a customer, I would remove the rollers and just put fresh ones so that the tackiness is still there from the pre-adhesive glue. So what I'm going to try and do, though, is get those ones a little bit wet to relax and see if I can re-glue them down. They're very kinked. They just shoot, because they might have been squished from the pillow or something like that. They're sticking like outwards. Like it's really weird to explain, but
I only sleep on this side.
only really? Okay.
100%.
Yeah, they look dramatically different from the other side. So I had to wet them, and that's why they touched the tip. This is not how you should be doing it, but I'm trying to troubleshoot to show you that what you might have to do for this type of client. Okay, so we'll let that soak for the 6 minutes. Okay. Had it done in the States. Yeah, I would still do my best to check. He should check with his physician to see if it's okay, because depending on the degree of the surgery, this is a lift. So the skin area around where he's opened up and stitched or whatever is a lot more delicate. So he would have to ask the physician for that. But we usually say 6 months and after. But depending if that surgery went well, didn't go well, he's longer recovering time, I'm not quite sure. That's when you have to get the physician involved. For your lift, so what were you having a hard time with the glue on your lift? Because you got to use the glue right away. You can't let it dry at all. I'm just rewetting those hairs in hopes that I can re-glue them down after when they're relaxed. This whole end popped up. Sorry guys, not a great demonstration of a webinar, but at least we can learn how to troubleshoot today, right? Okay. Are you using the new peachy glue? That's the question. If you have this glue, let me show you. If you have the clear glue, yes, that will happen. So you have to put security of the glue on top of the lashes. If it's the new one that you have, the peachy, sorry, see how it's darker? If you have the peachy one, then you shouldn't have to worry about that. It's got a stronger adhesive force. You have the peachy and you're having issues? Oh, in my lash lifts, I never have issues with the peachy. Are you sure you're putting it? Don't put too much. If you're putting too much, it will take a little bit longer to dry, but only put a little bit and right away. You roll the lashes right away with it. Now also, if you're rolling and the glue tends to get stringy, all that area of the lashes will pop off. So what you have to do is just re-wet the area. Re-wet the area if it got stringy, and then work the area, get the hairs back to stick on the silicone pad. when the lashes pop up, can you use tape and other lash resistance? No, because the solution won't be able to penetrate the hairs properly if you use lash tape. So if they pop up during the service, as long as you saturate them properly, after the time is up and you remove the solution, you re-glue them back down. Okay? So you re-glue them back down so that when you put the neutralizer, they take the shape. So don't worry, if a whole row is popping up, I'm a little bit concerned as to why that's doing. But if a couple of lashes pop up because they just are a little bit stubborn or so forth, it's fine. As long as the solution is on those hairs and saturated, then you can re-glue them down before you do the neutralizer. The important part is that the neutralizer reshapes. So if you don't get those lashes back down onto the pad when you're reshaping, that's which I'm going to try and do that in this scenario, is you won't get any shape then. So you have to glue them back down the silicone pad or the cotton rollers. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So this is the two colors I'm just going to use on her brows, light brown and natural brown. And I put the equal parts of both in there in my beautiful palette that rests on my hand, on my palm. Okay, I'm going to take my oxidant cream. I'm going to put my 15 drops because I'm using cream. So I got my oxidant cream right there, okay? I'm going to mix it till it gets a nice texture. So yeah, Margaret, just try back again with those tips, and you could always reach me and let me know, did it work, did it not work, but just so I can see if it was helpful, if we were able to assist you properly, okay? Or Margaret, Laura, was Laura too? Was it two people? Laura, Peachy. Oh, it was Laura. Laura and Margaret, both of you guys. I hope I answered both of your questions. Okay, so I'm just getting a nice mixture, a nice even mixture, okay? If you're using two colors and you want to get a great mixture, you can mix them before and then put your oxidant, okay? So I have some time before my timer goes off. So might as well add on a service and be like, hey, would you like a brow tinting? And that way it's easy to do, easy to add on. I can get a complete little package of their brows and lashes done, okay? Let me just see if there's any questions. Yes, if they have really, 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 really short hair, yes. Because the size small silicone pad might not be adaptable for their short hair, so you'll have to go to the curl. You have to make sure that the hair can wrap around the halfway of the circumference of the roller. But I do remember I think we did have like a hard time last time too.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, as you can see, they're popping up. So I'm going to let them relax and then I'm going to re-glue them back down, okay? Before I put the neutralizer. In hopes they will cooperate with me. So we'll see. Okay. I'm gonna clean out. Oh, my timer's up. Okay, so I'm gonna prepare the 4 minutes now for the timer. Can you do a lift on top of the curl if the curl doesn't work? Well, if she could do size small lifts, I would have suggested that, right? Basically, what you're doing is that if you go and do the other service after you did the curl, you go do a lift, you're making obsolete again the hairs, like you're relaxing them again, and you're losing the shape. Remember, the lash perm relaxes the hairs, so there's no shape, there's less shape, so that you can reshape them, right? So you can, but on the other hand, you don't want to be over processing either. So you'd have to cut the time in half and make sure that your protocols are done properly. your lash perm will have to be cut down in half. The timing. So I'm just making sure this is good, and I'm going to go now remove. I'm going to go right now and remove the solution. Okay, is it good? Do you provide any classification for lash curl lift? Where can I find information? So Haley, it's through our distributors. So you can either check on our website, RefectoCileEducation.com, under educational calendar, and or email me and let me know where you are, and I can see if there's a distributor that's offering classes in that area. So I'm removing with a dry Q-tip. Okay, dry, dry, dry. And a significant amount of lashes have popped up. So I'm going to make sure I get those back down. So I'm going to try and dry the lashes enough that my cotton swab is not pink, pinky looking, purplish looking. So make sure dry, dry, dry. Because if you use wet, you've released all the lashes. And the cotton pad is too wet. The cotton roll is too wet to proceed. So everything is dry. Okay. Did I answer the question? Thank you, Haley. Perfect. Okay. If by accident I missed to answer your question, please repeat it again. I just want to make sure there's no solution before I proceed. With the silicone pads, I find the glue is easier to work with because, the cotton roller has gotten more saturated. So it might be a little bit harder to reglue, I find, but I'm just gonna fill in this area that I touched. Okay. So let's start the regluing again. Let's get that. And always use something that you're not double dipping. I don't use the actual, what do you call it? Insert that comes with the glue. I try to use a disposable lip brush, or I have a bunch of these orange wood sticks. I'm gonna grab another. So I'm regluing back any of those hairs that I saw. Yeah, these corner ones are really stubborn. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna leave it as it is there. No, because it's a different concept. You're basically doing a lift. You know what? This is I do curls all the time at trade shows as well, or at other customers. Lori's a little bit unique. She has very, very, very stubborn lashes. So don't think of it that's going to be all your customers like this. I've had some like not to put down Lori, but I had some smooth lashes when I do a curl, right? So this is just hers are very, you can't tell in the camera, but they're very spunky. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but they're just like bouncing everywhere and they're thick as well. Okay, I'm not going to work it anymore because you get the concept of how it should be done. And that's like the most important, right? Let me just clean the brows. So we've got the brows done, which was nice. Okay, nicely uniform. She's got nice brows. And I just remove the brows dry. I don't even put any water. Okay. I'm just gonna leave this side 30 more seconds. And also, if you notice, some of her new growth is out. So these lashes right here don't even reach on the roller. So there's not much you can do about that, right? Okay. Okay, so I'll remove this brow and then we'll put the neutralizer. Okay. Once again, I remove brows dry, dry, dry. I find the color stays crisper. And if you want to clean around the skin, we'll do that afterwards. But the brows look beautiful. Oops, I just put some tint. Okay, so let's put the neutralizer. Is there any questions? You can redo this. You can. She does have amazing brows. Yes. You can redo the service. Yes, again, but you just got to cut down your lash perm time because you don't want to over process it, over relax it again. Okay, so I'm going to grab my neutralizer, step number 2. And once again, I'm going to squeeze my pea size amount. Okay. Okay, now we're going to apply it. Same, same area you applied the lash perm. If you put it in any other areas, it's not going to take. So obviously with some of her lashes, I had to go a little bit, cover it a little bit more because of the shorter parts. But in the center of the lash, because the lash is supposed to reach half of the circumference of the roller. And in the middle of the lash is where you want to put the solution. Once again, in this case, I'm just showing you the steps, but the proper steps, but it's also covering for her higher because of the trouble that we're having with some of her lashes. But it has to be in the center and dab, 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 so that you get good coverage. Don't sit there and start rubbing because you might affect, right, the hair. Yeah, those hairs, I won't be able to do anything. Huh. Okay, so we leave that on for 4 minutes. Great, and now I'm gonna just go clean around her brow area, anything on the skin that I felt was, I didn't do any staining on her skin. Like I'm pretty good, I'm pretty tidy when I use the Q-tip afterwards, But for example, if you felt like you had some area of the skin that you wanted to clean, grab your tint remover. Great product to always have. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit on a Q-tip. And I'm just going to go around the skin area where I want it to be more crisper. But I was pretty good. And shape afterwards, right? Never shape before. Shape afterwards if you have to shape. And the brows, I let them so little because obviously I understand what Lori wants and they don't want them too dark. Plus her hair is a little bit lighter and goldeny. So during the second step, you're doing on the lashes, you have time to now, shape the lashes, the brows if you wanted to, clean up, give them a little massage if you want to, slightly. Like, you never leave your customer, always be there with them. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm going to mix her lash tint, which is going to be the blue black. Okay, give her some luster and shine to her lashes. So I'm going to mix that because we only have about 2 minutes left. From the neutralizer. Any questions so far, or everyone's good so far? I'm going to use the same palette that I have because it's got 2 wells, so I can put the lash tint there. Okay, great. The artist palettes are a great little tool. Oh yeah, the solutions are the same as a lift. Everything's the same except for the roller. It's a roller instead of a silicone pad. The roller does a rounded look. The lift does a straight up look to add length. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, the process is the same. Same. Yep. So that's why I always say start off with the lift, because once you know how to do the lift, your curl won't be hard. So I'm just mixing. Oh, did I just use the wrong? Yes, I did. Give me 1 second. So once again, I'm just mixing her lash tint because I still have a minute left of the, not with RefectoCil. There might be with another brand, but not with RefectoCil. There is no silicone version of the cotton rollers within RefectoCil. The cotton ones are more pliable. The silicone ones tend to be a little bit harder rollers. And our brushes come into different ends. Like this end is more of a narrow end, so I'm going to use this on her lashes. And then what I did on her brows was more of the flatter end. So let me put them side by side. These are amazing brushes. I really like them. So one's thicker, one's wider. I like the wider one for my brows and the narrow one for the lashes. Okay, just to show you. Thank you, Sarah. The rollers can only be used once. Yes, they are disposable. Okay, time's up for the neutralizer. I already have the lashes mixed up. I have the solution mixed for the lashes. So I'm going to now remove the neutralizer, dry. And just try to respect the direction. So upwards, I always do it upwards. So when I re-glued it down, some of them did stay down. So it is a proper step to do and make sure to re-glue down any lashes that lifted. It's very important. So I'm going to take I'm going to take a Q-tip wet, but like I'm not going to overly, that's why I use a Q-tip so that I can release the lashes from the roller. So I'm not putting too much water. You know, depending how much glue you use, that's why it's really good to use less glue so that you can dissolve it okay. So it's, once again, it's going to be hard to tell on the camera, but the ones that did take have a little bit of a bend in the center. That's what you want to see with a curl, because that means it's rounding them inwards, right? So the hairs that did stay on, they have that little bend. So I like to release first the lashes from the roller so that I can roll the roller off after with a wet cotton pad, okay? So I'm going to grab. And once again, I don't overly saturate it, just a little enough. Release any glue on her lid that might have went on there. I grab the roller and I try to roll and put the water to the skin as well. Instead of tugging full, some people might do it this way, but I find that you might be tugging the skin, so hold it. But I also like going in with the water and have less tugging. Okay, so we're gonna do that same with the other side. Maybe a new cotton pad, don't want to use the same one. Okay. Now, because I want to put this at the bottom of her lashes, so I can tint her lashes, I'm going to just hold this aside and make sure I clean. Once again, I'm not overly wetting my pad, right? Oops, sorry. So this corner that was giving me a hard time, when I finally stuck it down, once again, it's gonna be hard to see on the camera, but it did end up giving a little bit of that bend. Okay, so I'm gonna get her to look up. I'm gonna put them underneath her bottom lashes so that I can tint the bottom ones too. Okay, she's gonna close back her eyes. I have the mixture already mixed. And try to like follow the growth. So I like to pick up from the bottom, like I want to follow. So I'll try to pick up from the bottom too, because you want to follow the lift or the curl, how the shape is, instead of overweighing it down. Okay. With the cotton rollers, you can't tint on top of them. With the silicone pad, you can if you want, but I still remove it to get better coverage. Okay, do the other side. And I remove the tint with dry Q-tip, the bulk of it, right? And you only need 2 minutes of this. It instantly will tint, like in 2 minutes her lashes are gonna be dark. I'm lifting up her bottom lashes. All extra beautiful. The brushes rock. Thanks, Lori. Can I send you a photo? Sherry, a photo of which? Let me know which. And then the bottom lashes, yeah, I'm lifting them up with my brush as well. You can go over and apply it like this to go down to the bottom lashes, but I want to respect the lift. So I start to lift bottom lashes and grab them upwards. But you can do this method like this and then lift them up to get the bottom. Okay. So what about, okay, so we're good with the questions. I'm just waiting. We got another 50 seconds. I'm gonna get the Q-tips ready, dry Q-tips. Okay, so I have my dry Q-tips ready because like I said, I'd like to remove the majority of it. I want to remove the majority of it dry, dry. So I use less water at the end, okay? And how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna sandwich it. And once again, I'm gonna respect the way the hair is growing. So I'm gonna sandwich it. It's about 13 seconds left. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to, sandwich it first. And you can already tell the dark already. They're like, the hair was porous, right? From the lift. So it's going to grab, if they came in just for a lift, just for a tint, it would be 10 to 15 minutes. But after a curl or a lift, the hair is porous, so it accepts the color fast. And after you remove the majority of the tint, you can remove the bottom just to make sure when you're cleaning. But I don't know if you can tell right in the camera. See how dark they are? And she had lighter to medium, like she had medium brown hair, so you could see that they were light. And now they're dark. So it's grasped really fast, so you don't have to worry about wasting that time to leave them longer. You're tearing a little bit in this, so you might feel a little bit irritated. So I'll remove it. Try to move it softly. Okay. Some people are taught in the school to do like eye rinses. I wouldn't do that. They remove all the tint with an eye rinse, and I've had students come to me and be like their customers feel very irritated doing this method. So that's why, yes, I go through a lot more Q-tips, but you could always have a cotton tissue and wipe off the excessive tint and use the same Q-tip. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. Nice and dark. And I'm going to put a little bit of water on a cotton pad, not too much, just to clean any excess. Okay. And also get underneath her eye too. So I just fold it in half. And sometimes get into the corners, the inner corners, the outer corners, because when they open up their eye, that may stunt, like that may get into their eye and then it will like burn a little bit. So I always try to get the corner if there's any tint hiding in the corner. And what I always like to do is, let me just clean her eyelid. I also like to have a fresh new cotton pad ready with a little bit of water before she opens up her eyes, just in case she does feel irritated. That cooling effect on the cotton will help. So I'm going to get Lori to open up her eyes slowly. Perfect. Does it feel anywhere irritated? Nope, you're good?
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So I'm just going to clean underneath if there's any staining. So her bottom lashes got dark as well. It's hard to tell on the camera, but they got darker. They were lighter. Okay, so it does work, that method. So what I'm going to do now, let me just see if there's any. Okay, so now that I removed all the tint, I'm going to grab my styling gel, right? So right now what you could have done is you could, like for example, before you put the styling gel, we can grab a little bit of the protection cream. Okay. We can take it and we can do a lot of those different movements. Try not to touch the hair brows, but you can do your temple, a little massage. You know, spend that, your straight movements. You know, even you got your tapotement, just that little vibration. So you would just spend that time doing that. Okay. I try not to touch her brows. Right. So you spend a little bit of time like that. The customer, thank you, Sarah. Looks really good. I can see the curl. Okay, yeah, it's really hard to see the camera, but you see the corner one. I'm looking at the camera right now. Her corner ones did well. They were also much longer, so they wrapped around better onto the roller halfway the circumference. Remember how this side was giving me a hard time? It actually did curl up, which is really good. So don't give up. You can do it, but just you gotta breathe, coach yourself through it, and you'll be okay. So let me put some of the styling gel. So that's our styling gel. I'm going to squeeze a little bit onto my glove because I don't want to use the same brush because it's cross. Do you want to avoid cross contamination? I'm going to get a new spoolie, and I'm going to put that in first in her lashes and then on her brows. Remember, because we did the tinting. So open up and look straight somewhere. Focus somewhere straight. Yeah, you have to, like, if this was me like 5 years ago, I would have been panicking to my customer. But you just got to learn to breathe and just follow those troubleshooting steps and you can make it happen. Okay, and then we're going to put it on her brows. There we go. Look, if you can look like, yeah. Okay, there we go. So we've got, that's how we would do it. The lash curl, once again, they will go smoother depending, but you need to know how to troubleshoot as well clients like this, because if the client is like really seeking to get a curl or a lift, you try your best to make it work through it, unless it's something that they forgot to tell you a certain medication they're taking or something happened and it's just their hormones are not working. If they're pregnant during the second semester, it might not work, lifts or curls. So there's no point of doing it and letting them know why. Their hormones are all jacked up in that moment and during the semester. So sometimes it's out of your control, right? But otherwise, you want to try your best to troubleshoot it to be able to get this service done for them. Okay, so hopefully like today was a good thing then if it was causing me trouble, because we got to troubleshoot it together and know how to help how to go through this on your own. So that's it for the webinar today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any last questions, please let me know. I am willing to answer them. But otherwise, that was our training, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the contest. Don't forget, I'll put it back on the slide so I can let Lori get up. Let me just put it back. We'll open up this page so you know for the contest. Yeah, you're good. Let me lower it. Yeah, if you have any final questions, please. You're good? Good, yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Oh, you're tearing over. If you have any final questions, just feel free to ask me before we close. I can spend another minute or two to answer them. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Do you have a before we can put side by side? Unfortunately, I think I mentioned this in the webinar. I forgot to take a before picture. I need to be like at the beginning of the class, tell you guys to remind me. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Thank you for being a model. And thank you, everyone. That looks really good. I can see the curl. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. Yeah. You know what? Once, like I said, if you have already tried the lift, you'll have easy. But if it's your beginning first time doing this, follow the tips and the tricks. Follow exactly. You're going to get your protocols emailed to you, your step by step. So follow those, and it should be easy breezy. But you can also reach out to me on this email. Okay. education@cbngroup.com. Any questions, I will do my best to troubleshoot and help you guys. Okay, so I appreciate it. You don't see me, but I'm gonna say hello. Thank you so much. It was my little jazz hands wave. So thank you so much for your time and spending it with me today. And I really appreciate that. And I hope I make an impact in these webinars for you guys. And don't forget, if you're any of these, thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everyone. If you're in any of these provinces or states, reach out to me, as I would like to do a big, massive training soon. Okay. Thank you, and farewell. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much.